I can't tell you how grateful I am to have good listeners and an audience like you. Thank you so much. So if you're watching the video version of this podcast, then I apologize for my messy office behind me. I'm in the process of relocating my home and office, and as a result, things are total chaos in my life. But that's okay. That's the way it works. No big deal. So let's get to this podcast. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the 5 reasons you're still stuck and you're not building a profitable email list and generating high quality leads every single day. So we're going to snap you out of it and move you forward. So these 5 reasons are things that my coaching clients typically come up with when I first begin to work with them. These are things that they have expressed to me over and over again. So I've heard these hundreds of times. And so we're going to go over them. We're just going to talk about them. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time, but we should move you from where you are right now, getting unstuck to where you want to be so we can get past these 5 reasons. Okay, so here we go. Number 1 reason. Okay, you are overwhelmed, and quite frankly, you're distracted by all the different strategies and tactics out there. So if you go on Google and you Google list building or lead generation, or go on Facebook or go on LinkedIn, wherever it might be, and you will find just a plethora, a whole host of different resources about different strategies and tactics that you can implement in your list building efforts. Now, I understand it. That can be completely overwhelming. And when you're just starting out new, it's difficult. It's hard because you say, well, I want to get it right the first time. I want to do this right from the very beginning. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to mess up. And there's so many good things. It comes down to a case of shiny object syndrome. We want to do all these great, fantastic things, and then we see other people, gurus out there, who are doing some really advanced, awesome tactics and strategies, and quite frankly, we kind of envy them, and we want to be like them. But we forget that we have to go back to the basics. We have to master the very basics of list building and lead generation before we can move on to the more elaborate and advanced strategies and tactics. So some of the questions that might be entering your mind when you first begin this journey of list building and lead generation is, what are the right tactics? And you hear all sorts of questions might come to mind, like, what kind of lead magnet should you use? How do you create it? What kind of lead magnet do people want? Should I do a checklist, a cheat sheet, an email series, a video series, maybe a white paper? Other things like, should I use pop-ups on my blog? How do I connect my sales funnel, my lead generation for my sales funnel, to my autoresponder series like Drip or MailChimp or Aweber, whatever it might be? How do I set up a lead generation campaign in Infusionsoft, etc., etc.? So, and then what happens next? Should I send them a welcome email? What kind of nurturing email series should I send after the fact? How many emails? There are so many questions. Should I be running Facebook ads? And if I'm running Facebook ads, should I be running them just on desktop or mobile? Should I put it on Instagram? Whew, man. There are a lot of different choices, and I understand. So it can get really confusing about where you should start and what you should be doing. So what you need is you need to break it down into a step-by-step list, a roadmap, so to speak, where you go from point A, where you are right now, confused and distracted by all the different ways, to point B, where you want to be, and it just gives you step-by-step what you need to do. And so that's what I do in my coaching. I break it down to the very fundamental, the basics, the things that you must master in order to move on to the more immediate and then advanced list building efforts. So we start out with 1, defining your target audience. Now, when I say defining your target audience, I don't mean just like, hey, we're going to go to business owners. That's a pretty broad brush to paint with. If you try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one. So, for example, I might do business owners who are currently doing some marketing online who use an autoresponder like Infusionsoft or MailChimp. That might be my target audience. And they're frustrated with their follow-up email series. That might be how I narrow it down and niche down that particular audience. Anyway, so my step-by-step program does that. So I take you through that. So reason number 2, after the distractions, after all that, is you're in like tech hell. Or heck, I shouldn't say hell. Well, that's bad. So you are stuck because you feel like that this is so complicated and you're not a techie person and you just feel like, all the technical stuff. How do I even deal this? This is mind-boggling. So you end up spending money on software and memberships and all sorts of things that you don't need, like Page Builder, other things, webinar software. Most people end up paying for software or things that they don't need. You're all teched up, but you don't have anywhere to go. And you have no idea how to tie all that intricate web of software and systems and things together that you have in your arsenal. You don't know how to tie it all together. So what you need is you just need a few very simple tools, and you just need to know how to use those simple tools. You don't need nearly as much. As a matter of fact, when I take on my list building clients, my coaching clients, we end up getting rid of about 80% of the software and the systems that they have because it's too much, too fast, and I want to get them out of that tech hell. Okay, reason number 3 is consistency. The fact of the matter is you might create an epic blog post, or you might do a fantastic social media post, or even a live video post, and you get all sorts of likes and engagement, and then the next day rolls around and all there is crickets from you. So you're not being consistent. You're sporadic. And so one day you're doing really great, the next day you're doing nothing at all. And once again, that kind of plays into the being distracted because you say, well, I'm going to try this strategy over here, and I'm going to try that strategy. Today I'm posting on Facebook, tomorrow I'm going to post on Instagram, and maybe on the next day I'm going to do LinkedIn. Look, you need to pick one. Pick one thing, milk it for all it's worth, master that thing, know the ins and outs of that thing, make sure that one, like if it's Facebook ads, master Facebook ads. Now, that doesn't mean you have to master all of them. What I like to do is I like to start off with the single image Facebook ad. That's the simplest. It's the easiest. Let's get that working for you first before we move on to a second medium or a second channel. So, and we want you to be consistently growing, have consistent daily leads, new people, ready buyers onto your email list every day. And we're not going to move until we get that consistency. So we want to do away with being sporadic, and we need to be consistent with that. So we want a steady flow of leads onto your email list every single day without fail. And if we don't have that, we're not going to move on to something else. Okay, number 4. This is kind of a killer. No one wants to spend money on ads. They all feel like that it's a gamble. They feel like, oh, man, I should be able to do this organically. If I make a really good Facebook post, that's really going to do it for me. But you know what? Here's the reality. No one ever has a traffic problem. They just are afraid to buy that traffic. You can always buy the traffic to your ads. You can always buy the traffic to your landing pages. It's not a problem. But you can't be afraid of putting aside a little bit of money in order to get that traffic. So paid ads are a must. Now, if you're afraid, that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. That will make you conservative. It's good to be conservative. You don't want to go out and drop $1,000 on a untried ad. You want to go slowly. You don't want to just jump out there. you want to test small, and then once the tests prove that they're working and your ad is working, then you scale it up, but only after you've tested it at $5 or $10, maybe even $20, but that seems a lot. But you can't be afraid of spending a little bit of money. Going viral, yeah, that's like winning the lottery. Your odds are you're not going to go viral with your organic post. It's just not going to happen. But you need to know how to make small bets with your Facebook ads and how to test them and then grow them. So you can't be afraid of that paid traffic. Okay, number 5, the last reason on our podcast today. So what we're talking about, number 5, is the difference between building a list and building a profitable email list of buyers. Now, I can go out and I can put some Facebook ads out and I can get all sorts of people onto my email list. But the real question is, are those people going to be buying from me? And if they're not going to be buying from me, then why am I wasting my time with those people? It's an absolute waste of time to be putting people on your list. It's a waste of time and money who are never going to buy from you. So this goes back to choosing our target audience. We need to really narrow down our target audience, and we need to find a very specific pain point of our target audience. And in our lead magnet, the thing that we're offering, the value they're offering up front, that we offer in exchange for their contact information to get them on our list, we need to give them a solution to that pain point. One specific pain point with one specific solution that offers value. And that value, that will eventually lead to a sale. But if we're just trying to get people on a list, just to get them on a list, that's just not going to work out. It ends up being too broad. So the money is not necessarily in the list. It's in our relationship to our list and how our list offers solutions to our target audience's problems. If we offer a solution, we will have, our list will become profitable. If we're just offering crap, well, then it's just going to be a list of people, and eventually that list will not generate sales, and people will fall off that list, and then you can always add more, but they might not be high quality. So you want to your messaging, your lead magnet, your sales funnel, everything needs to go to reinforce that relationship and reinforce the idea that you are solving your target audience's pain points with your solution. Now, once again, how do you do that? Well, I've created a roadmap for my coaching clients where we take you from point A, where you are right now, confused, you're not really making a profitable list, you're not having consistent sales on a daily basis, and we go to where you are having new, high-quality leads come in every day, which results in predictable sales, and then your business is thriving. So once again, as we kind of wrap up this thing, the 5 reasons you're not building a profitable list or getting high-quality leads every day is because, 1, you're overwhelmed, you're distracted by all the different strategies and tactics out there. Number 2, you're in this tech hell because you're wasting time worrying about the technical aspects instead of just getting it done. Number 3, you're not consistent. You're sporadic in your list building and lead generation efforts. Number 4, you might be afraid of paid traffic and you're not out there buying traffic. Remember, you never have a traffic problem. You can always buy it. And if your offer is good, that's going to result in sales. And number 5, you're building a list instead of building a profitable email list of people who are ready to buy your product because your lead magnet is in alignment with the pain points of your target audience, and you're providing solutions to those pain points in your offerings. That's how you build a good list. So, thank you for joining me. I want you to think about it. Are you stuck right now in your list building? Is that where you're at, where you're not making headway, you're doing things randomly, and you're just not getting it done? if that's the case, then let's sit down and let's have a conversation. I like to always offer a free 30-minute strategy consulting session with everyone who would like to. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. All you need to do is find the link below this and sign up for a 30-minute session, and let's get you unstuck. Let's get you sorted out so that you have a specific list of to-dos to get your list building efforts going, and then to scale them into overdrive so that you can have consistent high quality leads, that you can have predictable sales, and a thriving business. All right. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time on the Freaky Smart Podcast.